College Station purchase ticket in Baltimore, and every train station in the United States have to present an ID. And the two suspects presented their ID to purchase these train tickets, and that's one of the ways that we learn of the name Christopher Wilkins and Angel Fury. What I learned about Angel is he's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Wilkins.
Listen up. It's real out here. The ones you trust can make you or break you. You dig? You dig? Yeah.
Some will stretch you, twist you, pull you apart. Got a smile on their face, but they target your heart. Rip your face up with words, cut deep, no scars. You think you know loyalty till they expose who they are. They'll co-sign your dreams and throw you to the wolves. I seen them drag you down, little lies turn to drools. Test your mental, burn you out, that's the game they play. Life is too precious to waste on fakes every day.
Choose your circle wisely, keep it tight, don't let them in. The wrong people will drain you, it's a battle, where to begin? Life given by your honor, don't you let it slide. You're gonna die in a little less cell, no pride, no pride.
Super Bowl's passing, holidays come and go. While you stuck in that cell, that clock's moving slow. Frozen reality, that prison ain't just bars, it's a mind game. Psychological scars, don't act tough. Keep your circle lit and true. Real ones recognize the grind, see the struggle too. Burn me out, now I'm fueled by the pain. Got a thirst for the win, yeah, I'm bringing the flame. Jail is a battlefield, one wrong move can ruin your game. Stop with high school drama, don't let them put you to shame. Snitch not, loyalty's the code, you know the drill. Pick your comrades wisely, always stay on the real.
Choose your circle wisely, keep it tight, don't let them in. The wrong people will drain you, it's a battle, where to begin? Life given by your honor, don't you let it slide. You're gonna die in a little less time, no pride, no pride. So keep your circle small, let the real ones surround. Life's too short to get caught up in the fake and the sound. Circle of fire, we rise, we grow, no doubt. Stand tall, stay true, that's what it's about.
What is going on, everybody?
Listen up. It's real out here. The ones you trust can make you or break you. You dig? You dig?
Mic check, mic check. What's going on, everybody, man? How we doing on this lovely, lovely Sunday? Man, shout out to everybody holding it down. You know, gotta put the disclaimers out there. They're working, they're trying to sue people. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and don't necessarily affect all that other BS, you know, macho shit. But what's going on, everybody? How we doing? Mic check, mic check. We got good sound. We got good sound. What a screwed up week it's been. It's been a real screwed up week. I went to court. Randall, I'm in Tasmania. Did I live? Oh, Australia. It's got to be what, midnight? Oh, she said it right there. Good morning. 1:30 midnight here. Wow. Sorry to keep you up. Shout out to all our people. What do you call it? Down under, you know, Australia. What is that? Craters Creek, Wolf Creek? Is that real? Is that a real place, Wolf Creek? We got that big crater in the ground. You know, well, sorry we're streaming when you're about to go to bed. I mean, a lot of stuff going on. Michael Proctor. Eddie O'Brien about to go for his Rule 30 motion. You know, what needs to be done for that. So, down under. It's amazing that people, on the other side of the world, has so much interest as what goes on over here, in America and what goes on with the Karen Reed trial, and even with the whole Karen Reed thing, like I've said it over and over again, a lot more could have been done, with Karen Reed, but it just seems like the wrong message got pushed out there. The wrong message got pushed out there. But yeah, it's definitely a shame. How about David, man? David finally charged, with Celeste, with killing the little girl. What a tragic death of a 14-year-old, and it's not tragic because we know the ending, but because, we know who's responsible. I mean, the timeline itself, is just, it's crazy that it took this long for him to finally be arrested. But adults need to pay attention where your kids are. Was her parents not wondering where their 14-year-old daughter was? I mean, you got a young girl, a child who kept slipping through the cracks, running away, coming back, disappearing again and again. And every time Celeste vanished, the internet has a new theory, new screenshots, new exclusive. But the real world, the one with police reports, neighbors, cameras, consequences, I mean, that moves on its own clock all by itself. And then you have an artist. DJ Academic breaks it down, pretty good. Then you have an artist, young, famous, adored, whose online presence and offline behavior just starts overlapping in ways that makes a lot of people feel very, very uncomfortable. But let's check in with DJ Ack and see how he breaks down Celeste and David. Now David's finally charged. Found this girl in 2 bags in the back of a car.
We
1 second.
we heard the judge order the coroner's office, the medical examiner, to release the autopsy report as soon as possible. That's going to be obviously added to the discovery, and it's now going to be public record, which is, obviously this is a case of murder. Okay. Now, let me, should I play this or should I just read it? I'll play Law and Crimes. Now, some of these details are kind of disturbing.
The autopsy report for Celeste Rivas Hernandez in the David murder investigation has just been released. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, so thanks for joining us here on this breaking Sidebar. As I mentioned right here, this is what we've been waiting for in the David investigation, in the Celeste Rivas death investigation. This is the coroner's report. So it just came in, right? So after David was arrested, after he has been charged with the death of, charged with the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, this is what we've been waiting for. The cause of death. This has been sealed for months, and this is providing a lot of details. I'm going to tell you right now, it is very difficult to read through this. It is gruesome, but this is going to be a key point for both the prosecution and the defense. We know that Celeste's body, the body of this 14-year-old girl, was found in the trunk of a
Okay, let's get on with it.
Rivas Hernandez was discovered at 1100 hours on September 8th, 2025, in the front trunk of a vehicle in a tow yard in Los Angeles, and death was pronounced by a detective with the LAPD. A deputy medical examiner conducted an examination of Ms. Rivas Hernandez on September 10th, 2025. at the DME's Forensic Science Center. The cause and manner of death were determined December 9th, 2025. A court order initiated by the LAPD previously prevented the DME from releasing its findings. And this is the statement of Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Ode Ukbo. After several months, I am grateful this information can now be released not only to the public, but also to the grieving family enduring loss. It is unfathomable they have had to wait this long to learn what happened to their daughter. The transparency of the information contained in our findings and reports is essential for empowering the community to make informed changes to effectively reduce fear and allowing the community to take informed action. Making the department's information publicly available is not just about accountability, it is also about social justice and prevention. By ensuring access to this information, we strengthen our ability to learn, to act, and ultimately to prevent the next tragic loss of life. I want to extend my gratitude to our partner agencies for taking the necessary step of filing an order with the court to make this disclosure possible. Mary, I'll first start there. It's not every day you hear a statement like this from a chief medical examiner. Let's start right there.
That's true. Sometimes we don't want to release the cause, the specifics about the cause of death in an active investigation, because perhaps it's information that only the killer would know. And so that's understandable that that might be obscured initially. But I think what the chief medical examiner in LA is saying is that they had this information, they wanted to release this information, and they were thwarted in doing so.
And when you hear, so just I'm reading from it, right? So the date of the injury, they say, is unknown. The place of the injury is unknown. Pronounced date, time, September 8th, 2025, 11 a.m. Date of examination, September 10th, 2025. And it was completed, right? So December 9th, 2025. Is that time span typical?
I think from September to December, that's reasonable because they're awaiting certain specialty ancillary tests, such as toxicologic examination. And it's much harder to do on a decomposing body than if it were fresh deceased. So the fact that that takes a couple months to get that information so that that's part of the whole picture of, what happened to this poor teenager, that's reasonable.
And just to be clear, as we talk about this, David.
All right. Okay. We have the entire thing here, so we're gonna break it down ourselves. I like long crime, but we want to get straight to the shit. Give me 1 second. All right, I've actually never read a coroner's report before, so this is gonna be the first time, and I guess the first time for everything, right, Chaz? We've never actually read one of these before, but here goes nothing. All right, here we go, Chad. So this is the County of Los Angeles Medical Examiner report, and her name is Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez. Obviously, she was 14 years old at the time of her death, and the cause of death is being ruled as multiple penetrating injuries. Homicide is how many injuries they're saying is with objects. Now let's see if we could there's a summary and there's a narrative. The medical report summary is, can you guys see this? Let me make sure you guys can see it. There's 2 penetrating wounds to the torso, the right abdomen, there's an injury to the liver, and the left chest with a penetration of underlying intercostal space and cortical disruption in the adjacent ribs. Okay, so it kind of looks like they're kind of saying stabbing, right? But like 2 vital organs, it appears, right? 2 penetrating wound. So right abdomen, I guess liver would be here. I'm kind of flipped. So like here, if you're looking at left chest would be like maybe like down if they're saying to the ribs, left chest to the ribs. So I guess they're kind of other findings: bilateral dismemberment of upper and lower extremities. Okay, and multiple additional sex. And then we're gonna see toxicology reports. So we got to make sure we see that. All right, here's the narrative. She was found decomposed, and the autopsy was limited by extensive post-mortem changes. There are 2 penetrating wounds. Okay, the wound on the abdomen penetrates the liver, and the wound on the upper chest penetrates the space in between and will be adjacent to the cortical surfaces by the ribs. The left lung does appear intact. Okay, cool. All right, we're trying to simplify this a little bit, chat. Trying to simplify this, okay? So this is exactly what a coroner is going to release, and this is 12 pages, okay? Prior post is also really invasive. So, again, trigger warning. Also, remember, we're speaking about a child here. So, we might see or get a little bit more info than we care to really know, but this is all in the
I was thinking when the internet was busy arguing about, trying to be, the internet detective, this girl was slipping through the cracks. This was a girl that needed help. I mean, so many red flags connected in possible moment. It was the worst moment, patterns matter. I always say that. Follow the patterns. People follow the same patterns over and over. Patterns matter. When a child goes missing, the last thing we should be doing, right, is turn it into content before we turn it into concern. Because I think when this case plays out, if this case teaches us anything, it's that the internet will build a narrative long before the truth ever gets a chance to speak. Believe that. This internet, this screen, this box that you're looking into, you're listening to, remember, it will build a narrative long before the truth ever gets a chance to speak. And the truth, the real truth, man, we're still hearing it. We are still hearing the truth.
Understanding that we are kind of like looking into a crime, not no other shit, okay? All right. Post-mortem procedures. They did radiology. There is no donation, and they did not prepare the body for any mortuary. So they didn't do anything that could prepare it for mortuary, for burial or something like that. Okay. External examination. Okay, cool. All right, these are all whatever. Tattoos. Yes. Interesting. So there's a tattoo on her finger, a right one, and it says it was the second medial, and the text on the tattoo says SH. Shh. Okay. Hair long. Okay. Eye color. Cool. All right. So this basically, these are physical observations. Sorry, Chad. Physical observations. Okay. External decomposition changes. So we're getting the state of the body now. So the skin color changed. The description was that the body was dark brown. It was drying. Insect activity, which means she was being eaten by insects. I could imagine maggots and all that type of stuff. Multiple insect larvae was present. So insects were literally feeding on her body and having, offspring. There was a foul odor, as you'd imagine. She was decomposing for weeks. Other external decomposition changes. The head was partially skeletonized with an absent left eye. There is a liquefaction of the soft tissue. So, and it says it was a second medial, and the text on the text.
What this girl's body went through, like for a parent to think about it, that insects were feeding off the body.
Tattoo says SH. Shh. Okay. Hair long. Okay. Eye color. Cool. All right. So this basically, these are physical Sorry, Chad. Physical observations. Okay. External decomposition changes. So this is.
Can we go smash that like button? I appreciate it. The like button, like it owes you child support or something. I mean, let's get into it. Smash that like button, please. Do me that solid.
We're getting the state of the body now. So the skin color changed. The description was that the body was dark brown. It was drying. Insect activity, which means she was being eaten by insects. I could imagine maggots and all that type of stuff. Multiple insect
That's
larvae was
horrible.
present. So insects were literally feeding on her body and having, offspring. There was a foul odor, as you'd imagine. She was decomposing for weeks. Other external decomposition changes. The head was partially skeletonized with an absent left eye. There is a liquefaction of the soft tissue. So they're saying that she did not have a left eye, and they're not actually saying that they believe that the eye was taken out, but they're feeling like through decomposition, maybe insects or whatever probably start eating at the eye. You get what I'm saying? Postmortem softening and whatever, discoloration. All right, cool. Other traumatic injuries. In the order of the injuries. Okay, cool. All right, skin defect. All right, cool. All right, it's more. It's okay. So these are describing how she was stabbed. Again, once again, trigger warning here, people. I'm expecting we kind of cover a lot of these type of criminal stuff. Just expecting everybody to show a little bit of decorum. I know we're talking about a young girl who was brutally murdered. We're just trying to get the proper information, just that, nothing else, nothing more. Okay, so there's a 3/4 inch skin defect, and I would imagine looks like a stab wound or something, right? And I'm guessing that's the length of the blade or whatever. And they're saying it's involved the right abdomen. It's 21 inches below the top of the head, 1 inch right of the midline, and is 3/4 inch in length, penetrating wound with smooth edges. The wound is oriented in the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock directions. 3 and then so it's straight. It's okay. 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock would be just straight here. Okay, so it's basically almost like the knife was turned, like if this is a knife. Okay, like if this is the blade of the knife stabs straight here. So like horizontally, basically, that's what they're saying, right? The wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the right abdomen and the liver. The depth is about 1.5 inches. So the person stabs or somehow.
I wouldn't be surprised if her parents were trying to get money. I mean, I don't think they was too concerned. I don't think they went to the police right away. But see, this dude, David, this dude, man. Listen, people out here think they can delete things. Turtle Boy thinks he can delete shit. Delete a message, delete a post. David was out here trying to delete an entire human. But your digital footprint is the one co-defendant that never goes away. Boy, oh boy, technology, huh? You can delete a text message, but the cloud is like your auntie at Thanksgiving. It remembers everything, even the stuff that you wish she didn't remember. That's the cloud. These kids out here committing crimes like it's 1993, forgetting that they live in a world where your phone tracks you harder than probation. Remember that. Your phone tracks every move you make.
Punctures and goes about a inch and a half. And the direction of it is she got stabbed from the front. Wow. It's interesting. Then there's another skin defect. This one is well, if you look at it, 3/4 is really 12/16. So this one's a little bit smaller. This entrance is right below the lower chest, the left lower chest, and it's 15 inches below the top of the head, 6 from the midline, it's in third. And the path would sequentially perforate the skin. Okay, that's one that kind of stabs like towards the rib area. It did not hit the lung though. The wound track is at least 2 inches deep. So, it's deeper than the first one, but it's more narrow than the first one. And the direction is actually left to right. Yeah. So remember, it's like this way, like this way, The ribs show disruption, but the lungs are also intact. Okay. Multiple skin defects also are present over the torso, with many perforating the skin and soft tissue Hemorrhage or associated internal organ injuries. Okay. Okay. Multiple fragments of blue plastic materials are found embedded in the cut surfaces. Representative fragments are collected by the examiner. Okay, cool.
But see, we live in a world now where people don't want justice. They want content. They don't want justice. You know, they want theories. They want a plot twist. You know, they want to be the first one to say, I knew it, even though they didn't know a damn thing. You know what I mean? It's like the internet turning tragedy into a friggin' group project, and everyone's still failing. You know, everyone's still failing. But meanwhile, while Turtle Boy's out here grifting, you know, talking about things that are not important, there's kids that are going missing every day. That's not trending. There's kids that are kidnapped. There's kids that, you know, haven't been home in weeks, and that's not viral. Nobody cares about this. It's not on the algorithm mood board. It's, you know, it's not pushing the numbers. That's a shame because that's somebody's daughter out there. And do me a favor, hit the goals at the top of the chat. Really appreciate it. You know, give somebody a membership. Look out for a fella, you know. Super chats, really appreciate that. You know, it keeps us able to keep doing this. And the same people who can analyze, you know, a 4-second TikTok, you know, like I solved the biggest crime. Like they can't be bothered to share an actual missing person flyer, but you're all worried about, you know, the latest TikTok trend. But what about, you know, your schoolmate that's going missing? What about that? I mean, these digital footprints are like muddy Timberlands. You track them everywhere you go. And eventually somebody's mama is going to mop that floor and see exactly where you've been. Better think about it.
All right. So we're kind of, you know, there's a lot of stuff here. And by the way, I'll you know, I'm gonna put this on our website, so you'll be able to see it. Like, you want to go through it yourself. Honestly, like, you know, outside of us doing this on a stream, I pray that none of you guys ever have to read one of these about a loved one. But let's try to keep going. Okay, so her heart weight was 100 grams. Wow. Okay. All right. Did they have all type of, you know, stuff about her heart, the left ventricle? Like they really go in depth with kind of measuring out everything about the body, in case, you know, these things can be used to really determine how this person died, whether if something happened, then it caused something to happen. Digestive system, everything is intact. Pill, okay, contents. So she had nothing in her stomach. Pill fragments is absent. By the way, again, you know, I know I'm probably overdoing it with the disclaimers. Again, we're kind of, the reason why this is important, we have a really hazy forecast of what happened with her. We don't know, right? We're kind of trying to figure it out, and we have to get as deep in as reading this coroner's report to kind of really, like, on a common sense, we do common sense shit here, but on a common sense level, make it make sense on how she died, right? Right now, we know she got stabbed twice, right? But, you know, there's many questions to ask. Was she fighting back? Was she restrained? How did this happen? Was she already, I don't know, like maybe she was fucking sleeping. Who knows? So we're trying to figure out all these things. But so, you know, that's why we're kind of going into some, you know, this is really in-depth stuff. Okay, so stomach contents was absent. So there's no food left there. Pill fragments, nothing. Her gastric mucosa was intact. Appendix is present. Everything looked like with the digestive system seems, you know, without significant pathological findings. The liver weight seems like it was 225, and they said the liver capsule, that seemed like there was some evidence of traumatic injury. Okay, so we're gonna look at what that is. Gallbladder present, that's normal. Pancreas is unremarkable. Okay, urinary tract, okay, they measure everything, cool. Female reproductive tract, uterus is present, not enlarged, without endometrial lesions or hemorrhage. Okay, ovaries and whatever, appropriate for her age, without lesion. Okay, cool. Usually, sometimes if she was, if someone had sex with her after death, some of these things could pop up in these reports as well. Okay, all right. So we're seeing a bunch of like kind of normal stuff other than stabbing, right? But we do see the head and the central nervous systems, as you can imagine, because she dies. There's a lot of like your brain and like your nervous system go through a lot of extreme changes, not only in trying to prepare or trying to like save you, but you're dying. You get what I'm saying? So you see severe postmortem changes. I can imagine what that could be. Anyway, all right. Examinations are cool. The photos taken prior to. Okay, so this is another test they do. All right. Trying to get to some interesting stuff, chat. So the liver is affected a lot, that they're saying.
According to his information that he was a Marine.
Okay.
And one of the questions,
So they take some samples, finger,
what I would like to know is where
nails, liver, jawbone.
and he landed
Okay.
yard,
And they do toxicology.
around diet.
All right. These are the detectives that were interested in this. And okay. Now we're going to get to toxicology, chat. So here's the thing with toxicology.
Yeah, it is. And
So it's confirmed that she had alcohol in her system at the time she died. This is a 14-year-old chat. Keep this in mind. So alcohol, ethanol, was found present in her system. I think I gotta see what these denote means. Give me a second. What does PP mean? Is that present or not detected? I think it's PP means present, and ND means not detected. There's not a thing here, so I'm gonna go off of that until we see otherwise. Okay, so alcohol definitely present. In the drug screen, benzodiazepines. Okay, brings me back to my days of organic chemistry, huh? I just typed in benz. Silly me.
Decomposing body, and if it were fresh.
Okay, let's see what drugs come into that. Okay, that's Xanax. So let's just say that's Xanax. Okay, so she has alcohol in her system, Xanax in her system. I'm gonna say an ND means not detected, so no coke, no fent. Methamphetamines, what would that be? Is that like Molly? Or is that like Adderall? Methamphetamine.
That's why this makes this all more difficult if you're looking for a body that has been suppressed.
Oh, Molly, yeah. Let's just go with Molly. Okay. All right. So she has a little liquor, Xanax, a little Molly. There's no codeine or morphine detected, no hydrocodone detected, and no phencyclidine detected. Okay, but I mean, it's kind of if I had a child and I figured and I realized they drunk off the Xans and taking motherfucking Molly. Shit. Anyway, and I don't know what ink means, but I see a bunch of ND. Okay. Oh, okay. Here's a legend. ND means not detected. Okay, they gave a legend. Okay, great. ND means not detected, and PP means presumably or presumptively positive. So we were right. What does INC mean? INC, because they use that as well. INC. Do we see it on here? Am I jumping?
Tanks on board. I mean, obviously they can.
I think it means just included because they included this up top. Okay, whatever. All right. So it looked like she was on 3 drugs, y'all. 3 drugs. She was on liquor, Xanax, and also some Molly. All right. Let's keep it going. This is how they're saying that the wounds looked. Okay. The wounds are only here on the body. Now, this is a description of the body and talking about the defects. Okay. One of the fingers has sh tatted here. There's 2 fingers absent here. Interesting. Also, when you flip, also they're saying there's multiple linear abrasions, multiple defects. Bottom of what? Okay, so we know fingers were missing. Is there toes missing? No, there's no toes missing. But fingers are missing. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is interesting, chat. They're saying that she had a tattoo with his name. And they're saying he cut the finger off with the tattoo of the name. So on one of the missing fingers, oh my God. Okay, wait, let me see. In one of the wait. Hold on. Unless I got that wrong. I heard so the tattoo, the SHH or SH tattoo, yes, that was there, but they're saying that on one of the other fingers, they believe that on one of her fingers that was removed. Oh yeah, I'm not too sure if this is true, but they're saying the medical examiner says Celeste Rivas was killed by penetrating injuries, and she was missing her left eye, and the same finger she had David's name tatted on was missing. Wow. Now, I don't know if this is her actual finger here. And I don't know if it's officially confirmed. We all know she had a SH tattoo, but we don't know if she had his name tatted, but apparently he did. There's 2 of his there's 2 of her fingers that were cut off.
Very difficult to survive in this water.
So horrible.
Interesting.
Horrible.
And they're making it clear like this is not insects eating the fingers. That's her. She got those fingers chopped off.
Okay, let's say we do maybe
Okay.
roommates and watch the shore somewhere.
All right, here's some more interesting stuff. Okay, apparently she was 15, or maybe it was 15 at the time when this autopsy was done. I'm not too sure. Okay.
Yeah, you can still recover.
Let me see if anything else.
Usable DNA. It can still be
Spot the scene. Okay.
All right.
I observed the decedent posterior torso lying and prone in a body bag in the front trunk of a Tesla. Her head was oriented towards the north. She appeared to be of indeterminate age and ethnicity with dark hair and natural teeth. She was wearing a blue top, underwear, leggings, and socks. I observed multiple holes in the front and back of the tube top. She was missing both arms above the elbows. Wow. And both legs above the knees.
Sooner it's going to be better.
Huh?
They're going to have difficulty doing.
Wait, how does the medical examiner not say that then?
A specific cause of death. Now, if we're looking at drowning,
Hold on, let's go back up a little bit. So they're saying that there's none of this. So this is not here, and below the knees is not there. Oh,
we still have our skull. We do things like look at the inner ear. And in sinuses, it would
X top of body. Oh, did they make the cuts? Or they make the cuts? They said this isn't here. Oh, so 10 inches to the bottom of the heel is missing. So this is from like where her knee is. Missing.
So,
And then they're gonna say from here.
if she is on land, actually.
Okay, well, if
Oh, yeah, that seems like an amputation then, right?
first off, not so.
And this is missing, and then this is missing. Holy shit! And then and the hand is there, but then the two fingers are missing. This is some shit. This nigga must have had a power tool.
Gas buildup in the body. If she were in some location and
Freaky little boy, man.
she is not deceased,
Okay,
she still would have.
let's keep reading.
Somebody's probably
Underneath the body bag was a black trash bag, and it contained the decedent's appearance compiled bilateral arms and legs. So he left them. He left the arms and legs in the bag. They appeared to have been dismembered into several fragments. Oh. The decedent was in an advanced state of decomposition, demonstrated by foul odor, discoloration, liquefaction, insect activity, and partial skeletonization and skin slippage. I noticed a approximate 1-inch linear defect on her abdomen and circular defect on her left flank. The left ring and pinky fingers have been. Which hand do you like wear a wedding ring on? You wear a wedding ring on your left hand, right? And that hand was cut off. That finger was cut off with the pinky finger. So he cut these two fingers off. And I did not locate them during it. Okay, so he left everything else. So he cut the limbs off, but he left it in the bag. The fingers he took, or he discarded somehow. That's odd. She has a tattoo that reads "shh" on the inside of her right index finger. I did not observe any other discernible scars or tattoo. The decedent was not ID viewable due to the decomposition of the face and was not live scanned due to waterlogged fingers. She was assigned Jane Doe 550. They identified her by dental radiograph comparison, and they identified her parents of the death same day.
You can make some of that stuff out. And the tough thing about it is you're trying to determine if it's
interesting.
And on your bruise post-mortem, right? So
I believe this is the forensic scientist who gave a report. Prior to my arrival, the front was open, the body bag was unwrapped and open to view the decedent. The decedent was dismembered inside a black body bag and a black trash bag. The decedent was severely decomposed. There was decomposition fluid on the outside and inside of the bags. The decedent was a female that had dark hair. Also, insect activity was observed on the body and the body bag. The body bag had a double zipper, 3 handles on each length side, and a handle on top with a on the top and a bottom with N.
So if there's no longer blood coursing through the vessels, you're not going to have hemorrhage into any tissue that's been compromised.
How does this guy get a body bag?
if we did find one that could we possibly
Gotta check that nigga's Amazon cart. What the fuck he got in his Amazon cart? A body bag? It's like, I thought it was gonna be like, yo, this nigga just threw her in like in a construction bag, like one of them heavy duty construction bag shit. This nigga had a body bag on deck. This guy might be a serial killer. Who the fuck has a body bag going on?
That would make me think.
A body, like, this is like a legit official body bag. It had a double zipper, 3 handles on each side. Like, what? Inside the front of the body bag contained the decedent's head and torso in a prone position. The head pointed north, thighs pointed south. Arms with hands and legs with feet. What? Arms with hands and legs with feet. Wait, did he cut like cut the arm off. Then he cut the. Oh my God!
I love you guys. You know, you're great.
Shit.
Shout out to Sherry D. Shout out to you. You know, here to help. David is cray cray. Absolutely.
Holy.
I heard he likes playing with pumpkins. Oh, he does some
Specifically about-
crazy stuff. His concerts. Absolutely crazy.
Wow. All right. So that's the latest, chat. Let me go to Law and Crimes to see if there's any more interesting things that was kind of like. That's kind of ridiculous. Now, if you don't know, according to the DA, the DA says that she was starting to threaten him about letting it go to the public that they've had a inappropriate relationship. Apparently, this was something that the fans knew that they were dating, but many of the fans, you know, he had young fans, so they're not looking at it like this is inappropriate. They're like, "Oh, that's David." Like, you know, like they, you know, if there were
Big
females,
shout out to the one
fantasize
and
about having a
only
relationship with him
Rando.
too.
Thank
So
you.
that didn't get
Much
for the people
love
who
and
thought they were in a
respect.
relationship. It didn't get to the point of no, this is fucking wrong. But I guess she realized that, hey, no, you know what? Wait, hold on. Dude, you're not really supposed to be with me. And then she would use it and threaten him, like, you know, and kind of like, not necessarily saying blackmail, but, you know, kind of say like, hey, listen, I'll go tell the cops. And apparently for him to try to save his career, this and third, he's like, you know what? I don't know if it's maybe she threatened him one too many times. Maybe she, you know, whatever. He's like, yo, I'm killing this chick, you know?
I want to break down a very beginning, and we're going to bring him on to discuss all of these for your child, but who's decomposed. The prosecution is going to present evidence to the court. He did not commit this murder.
April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint with Celeste while she was under 14 years old.
So in other words, according to
Randall
authorities,
matching
David was allegedly having an illegal relationship with
gotta
a
love
minor.
it. Thank you.
She was a witness to illegal sex acts, and she was going to, I don't know, expose him or threaten him, and he killed her. I wonder if that's a fair interpretation. The question is, what does that mean exactly? Was she going to go to the police? Was she going to post this to social media? How do they intend to prove that? I asked Nathan Hochman about this on my show, Jesse Weber Live on News Nation, and he basically said, I'm not going to get into the details of it. That will be more revealed during a preliminary hearing. But I want to preview what we can expect here. And I want to try to understand this because this is new information. This is a new allegation. And before I even get into that and more, I just have one more update for you. So Celeste's family, who we really haven't heard from in the last 7 months, officially released their first statement. Quote, we would like to thank the Los Angeles Police Department and the District Attorney's Office for their hard work. We would also like to thank the people of Lake Elsinore for all their support. Celeste was a beautiful, strong girl who loved to sing and dance. Every Friday night was movie night, and we spent wonderful times together. We love her very much, and she always told us that she loved us. We miss her deeply. All we want is justice for Celeste. Now, I'm happy they released this statement for a number of reasons. One, it's always good to hear from the family and get their perspective on this. But number two, we haven't heard a lot about Celeste. You know, we talk a lot about her as the alleged victim in this case, but to understand who she.
Okay,
you know, she's wearing a hoodie, a brown hoodie, which is his, and she just looked very. I said, you know, she looked very lost and confused, and I was saying that because I knew a little bit more of the story.
So this guy that they're interviewing, he's been like really following this case, and he's been actually really upset that there was an arrest early because he was doing a whole investigation himself, and he's not with the police, but he was triggered by the story, and now, you know, he gets to talk a little bit more about it because finally there's an arrest and charges
behind it. And that was that, you know, Celeste had really lost respect for David. She knew that she had been, you know, here she was 14 years old. She'd been lured away from school and everything, you know, because of him. And I think she knew that she was in a really bad spot. And I don't think they were getting along great. I think that she had lost respect for him. And so this makes sense. And I do think that he was threatened by her.
So I was trying to get an answer from Nathan Hochman the other night when I had him on Jesse Weber Live. And, you know, was it the idea that she was going to go to the police? Was it the idea that she was going to post something on social media? And obviously said, you know, the details will come out during the preliminary hearing. What any of those ideas make sense to you? I mean, was she about to come forward with this? I imagine what she was going to come forward with, if you listen to what the prosecution's arguing, is that she was having, right, an illegal relationship with David, or if she knew something like about him having illegal sex acts with somebody else. I don't think that's what it is, but you tell me.
Yeah, so there's a couple elements to that. I think that, listen, there was claims from the beginning. There were some photos that leaked out of David in Lake Elsinore with this paper bag and this transaction going on. And there was the teacher at her school that talked about people were extorting David. And I do believe that was happening. And then there's further proof, I think, that was happening. And I think David was under.
So possibly he was just paying like these kids to like keep quiet, because everyone kind of like, you know, her classmates and like her close friends started knowing that she was dealing with this guy.
Understanding that
it's probably kind of like the same thing, chat, where like, you know, these like, you know, freaky ass teachers go and they fuck a kid. And we always say, like, you know, obviously it's not necessarily right, but when it's a hot teacher and it's like a I don't know, a junior fucking her, like, damn,
come on,
what niggas always wanted to do back in whatever. And people always say, like, why did they fuck it up?
Thank you.
Why did they?
Shout out to Miss GNX.
And most times it's not even that. Most times is, you know, they're getting some grown ass pussy, and they probably tell their friends, like, yo, you don't fucking miss so and so. And those people that probably, you know, probably say something to their parent, they probably say something at lunch, and that's where the rumblings start. So I could imagine that, yeah, he's with like Celeste, and I don't think Celeste is probably necessarily was like just telling everybody, but shit, her friends probably find out, and yeah, they start running their mouth, and they probably realize, oh, he got some money, we could get something out of him to keep quiet,
man. Thank you.
And he's probably like kind of paid off her friends, knowing he's kind of in a really trash position, but he's probably thinking, I could keep doing this till she's 18. And then when she starts, like, you know, using that leverage, he's like, oh, this ain't gonna work. Maybe that's why he killed her, right? I'm kind of like trying to come up with a reason, but this guy's batshit crazy. Like, we're probably not gonna come up with a reason at all.
This was kind of a grip on him. And then when you lose respect to the person that it's centered around, it can become a real problem. And then, you know, not too long ago, I kind of put out there that there was this report.
I see comments in the chat. Did we, I hope you didn't think my analogy was weird, right? I said, when we see stories of, I don't know, a 16, 17-year-old boy fucking a grown, attractive teacher, even though it's not right, because it's a guy, we kind of look at it and we're like, yo, why did he snitch? Like, y'all seen the stories, y'all seen them posted. When you see this attractive, like, female teacher, like, why did he snitch? And the point what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times it's not the guy who snitched. It's them just telling their friends, and probably like, yo, you're not going to keep quiet at 16 or 17. And they are the ones who kind of like make that a thing to get the teacher busted. And I would imagine, let's reverse it with like someone like David. I think his friends was extorting David. They're like they know, and they're like, yo, this nigga got some money. Yo, if he gives us some money, we'll keep our fucking mouth quiet. You get what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand that, right?
I tried to get the investigative reports from West Hollywood Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Office, which weren't directly tied into this case, but had jurisdiction.
Somebody said they don't think like that. All right, well, that's just you, bro. Nigga, I was 17 in my college. I was 17 in high school, and there was this one Spanish teacher named Miss Martinez. Nigga, I would have bent her over the table. Nigga, fuck what you heard. Nigga, like, I'm gonna just keep it a bean. Nigga, I would have nigga, I don't. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a slightly double standards. Not saying it's right, but nigga, I still want that chick. I've been trying to find her ever since. Miss Martinez, man. I just like high school, somebody find her.
Over the other rental house that David was at, where they have that famous.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all. Like, the person who said in my chat, they were like, nah, we don't think like that. Be like, yo, niggas used to, our whole, like, we at the lunch table at, like, remember, we're like seniors. The first one, we used to just show up to that class just to flirt with her. Like, fuck that class. It was like a Spanish class. Nigga, we was in there playing Mafia. We were doing all type of shit, nigga. We're, like, learning Spanish. We were just trying to learn Spanish to see if we could try to fuck her. Y'all all know that one badass teacher where it's like her class is a fucking joke. Like, you know what I mean? You talk to her like a homie, but in reality, you're like, man, I wonder if she let me crack. Yeah. Now, obviously, you know, it's improper, you know, on her side, because you're the kid, right? Like, you're 17, right? Like, you're 17, she's grown. But shit, if she had fucked up and give you the choice, nigga, you cracking, bro.
Lead everything live stream. Well, when I requested those files, they said that they couldn't release them because there was an investigation.
Ms. Vargas? Yo, anybody ever looked up they badass high school teacher later on? Like, just kind of look her up to see what she's doing. And now, granted, worst time to talk about this because this nigga is not a teacher. He's just a fucking creep. But I was only talking about the extortion element. I think the friends are extorting him. Like, so when you've seen that picture with him, like, with giving out an envelope or whatever, I think this is her friends fucking be like, yo, listen, man. Yo, I need some money for some fucking candy and some McDonald's. Yo, give me some bread, bro. Or else I'm snitching on you. And I think he was going.
It was understanding that this was kind of a grip on him. And then when you lose respect to the person that it's centered around, it can become a real problem. And then, you know, not too long ago, I kind of put out there that there was this report. I tried to get the investigative reports from West Hollywood Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Office, which weren't directly tied into this case, but had jurisdiction over the other rental house that David was at, where they have that famous delete everything live stream. Well, when I requested those files, they said that they couldn't release them because there was an investigation in progress and referred me to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department and the LAPD. So that pretty much said that there was an investigation ongoing that involved Riverside County, who was the agency that had the missing persons report. So I do think they were looking into that relationship. How aggressively, I don't know. But these are all things that David was aware of, and he was questioning that.
Yeah, can you elaborate on how they'll be able to prove that was the motive? How they'll be able to prove that was the
Tesla was registered in Hempstead, Texas to David Anthony Burke, also known as multi-platinum singer and songwriter David, who currently has 2 million followers on Instagram and nearly 40 million monthly listeners on Spotify. David was on tour the day she was found, traveling from Madison, Wisconsin to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Authorities expressed that David was cooperating with them, so it seemed like this was some horrible coincidence. But every day that passed, more information came out that made David look more like the prime suspect. The girl was identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had run away from her home 14 months earlier and had been missing ever since. The LAPD said it is was dead for several weeks prior to her being discovered. Some of the other initial reports were shocking. She and David had a matching tattoo that said "shh" on their fingers. Her brother told police David regularly picked Celeste up in the same Tesla she was found dead in. Countless photos and videos were resurfaced where the two appeared to be close friends, if not possibly a couple. And one of the last times she was ever seen in public, she was backstage at one of his concerts. Now, if you look at all of the evidence I'm about to give you in no particular order, it screams that David is guilty. And by no means am I trying to defend him or prove him innocent, but we are talking about a very serious murder of a child. And I think there are a lot of people on the internet that are looking at this as pure entertainment, and they're confusing the story and spreading false information because it makes for a more interesting crime documentary. With that being said, what I'm going to do is try to establish a very clear timeline of events, from the moment Celeste may have met David to when she went missing, to what happened while she was missing, and ultimately when she was found dead, and what has been proven so far. In July of 2022, David releases his breakout song, Romantic Homicide, where he sings, "In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry, not a single tear."
Where she died in the back of my mind. I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died.
This song would go extremely viral on TikTok, would eventually become multi-platinum, and launch him into fame. 1 month later, someone with the username Celeste messaged in David's Discord in August of 2022 saying that her parents are annoying and they won't let her go see him perform. He replies, "Don't worry, I'll fix it," which, if this was the victim, she would have been 11 years old at the time of this message. A few months later, in October of 2022, David asks for Celeste, and that that same user replies, "Hi David, bark," seemingly excited to talk to him. She would have been 12 years old at the time. 1 year later, in October of 2023, David says he thinks girls his age are in December of 2023, a user in David's Discord takes a screenshot of what appears to be a live stream and asks David, "Who's the girl?" To which he replies, "You are a Fed," which basically means, "Why are you all up in my business?" Then again, if this was Celeste, who was not missing at this time, then he would be publicly hanging out with a 13-year-old. However, due to the low quality of this photo and half of her face being covered, it's hard to tell if this is actually Celeste. Plus, you will notice a trend of David always being around girls that look the same. There is also this photo that may have been taken around the same time, December of 2023, although we don't have an exact date, but David's hair matched that color around late 2023 and early 2024. In January of 2024, David is seen on a live stream with the girl we strongly believe to be Celeste. It's important to know at the time of this stream, David was 18 years old, about to turn 19, and Celeste was 13. Also, she was not a missing person at this time.
Wait. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer. Which one? It was good that we're a big family. Bro, thank you, Mitochondria. We need to delete this. Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
It's interesting that they both wanted this stream deleted, probably because Celeste made this joke about R-wording kids.
I media trained you. No, you didn't. That's controversial. It's controversial it's really good. Okay, it's been a good one. Bye. Bye guys. Mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
He says he media trained her, hinting that she can't just say wild things on the internet. Also in the chat, they are making jokes about David being on the Epstein flight logs. So it seems like the conversation was something about David and minors. Also, someone in the chat typed in Celeste's name. So at some point, she was identified on this stream as Celeste. Also at this time, David was rolling out a song called Leave Her, where he sings the lyrics, "I can't stop falling for her," and also was posting a ton of TikToks suggesting he was infatuated with a girl. Around this time, David started sporting a lot of Hello Kitty gear, mugs, shirts, plushies. He even romanticized a Hello Kitty girl. Hello Kitty almost became like an extension of his brand, and you'll notice a lot of Hello Kitty adjacent stuff with Celeste in a bit. In February of 2024, David's manager, Josh Marshall, entered a lease for a Hollywood Hills home. However, the owner wasn't informed that David was actually going to be the one living there. On February 14th, 2024, which was Valentine's Day, 70 miles south of David's home is a town called Lake Elsinore, California. A 13-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez was reported missing. Family members made posts to Facebook asking people to help locate her. Celeste's aunt wrote, "We still don't know anything about my niece, and I will not get tired of begging God and appear well. I love you, and you know that the mercy of God will accompany you wherever you are. I have faith and you will return to our arms." Missing person posters were distributed around Celeste's neighborhood, and her family posted as many photos as possible to ensure she could be found. According to private investigator Steve Fisher, Celeste's mother somehow found out that she was with David and emailed his manager Josh, but this PI did not release the email. He also says a couple days after this email, Celeste returned home on February 20th, 2025. Celeste's cousin made a post on Facebook a few days after she returned home saying, "Be careful with who you talk to on the internet, guys. Don't make the same mistakes my cousin made." However, just a few weeks later, Celeste was reported missing for a second time in March of 2024. On March 19th, 2024, Celeste was captured on security camera footage belonging to Delago Spirits, a liquor store just down the street from her family home. At 7 a.m., a teen identified as Celeste by her family is seen walking down the street wearing an oversized black hoodie and white pants. Now, her being out at this time isn't necessarily weird because kids walk to school or the bus in the morning, but out of nowhere, she begins to run around the corner. What I find interesting is how the other person she walks past stops and turns their head to look back at Celeste, almost like she noticed something weird. Like, was she crying or did she say something? During this time, chat logs from David's Discord indicate that his closest fans knew about them. Someone said, "Pretty sure he is dating right now," and another user user replied, "Yeah, her name is Celeste." Shortly after, Celeste was found and brought back home by police. Celeste was reported missing for the third and final time in April of 2024. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department opened a missing person investigation after Rivas left her home at 9 p.m. on April 5th, wearing gray pants and a black sweater, as well as a hat and Hello Kitty sandals. Celeste's brother Matthew told NBC-LA that family members were aware that the girl knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when his sister disappeared, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Her brother also said that David regularly picked her up in the same Tesla her body was found in. Now, a reasonable person would assume that the family did not know that David was 19. Maybe they could have assumed he was 16 because that is the age you need to be to legally drive a car. Whether or not David knew that Celeste was 6 years younger than him at this point is not clear, but many people have a hard time believing that David could not be aware that he was regularly hanging out with, or worse, being romantically involved with a child. After April 2024, Celeste's family would never see her again. At least we think. A source for the Daily Mail claimed Celeste stayed in contact with friends for more than a year after being reported missing. There was a photo of her taken at a family member's graduation, but it was posted in August of 2024, and graduations don't typically happen in August. So it was either sometime in May or June when graduations typically happen, or maybe even a full year before. But regardless, the photo seems like it was uploaded long after it was taken. While Celeste was missing, an insider revealed the family received a strange phone call that made them stop searching for her. "I know someone who called her mom and said, 'Stop looking for her, she's fine,'" the insider said. They told the family to take down the social media posts about her being missing. The identity of the alleged caller is unknown, and there's no way to know if they are connected to David. 2 months after being missing, on June 27th, 2024, many believe Celeste is captured backstage walking alongside David's brother at one of his concerts in Los Angeles. Now, this evidence is much stronger, but pay attention here. David posted a TikTok on February 7th, 2024, before Celeste went missing the first time. It says, "When your card declines at therapy and they bring in that one Hello Kitty girl you met in 2021, take a look at his jeans and the Hello Kitty plushie looped onto his pants. This next photo is a POV shot of a girl with fair skin holding his belt loop wearing the Hello Kitty themed Crocs. Those Crocs match the ones that Celeste was wearing backstage, and the description of her missing person report says that she was wearing Hello Kitty sandals. Even though we can't 100% confirm, I do strongly believe that the girl who was captured going backstage is Celeste. But now there is a huge gap in the timeline, from June of 2024 to September 2025 when she was found dead. During this 14-month gap, very little is known, and it's very speculative as to what happened and where she was during that time. But this is all the evidence we have. July of 2024 is an insanely important month to remember, because basically all of the evidence that we have takes place in this 1 month period. July 7th, 2024, David posts a TikTok of him and a girl with the same skin complexion as Celeste sitting in his Tesla with the caption, "Softest soft launch of all time," suggesting he is now in a relationship. Firstly, we know this wasn't a real-time photo because David was in London on July 7th for the first date of his My House Is Not a Home tour, which means that these photos were taken before July 7th. Maybe he was bored on the plane or in a hotel and just posted them. To know if this is Celeste, first we must take a look at some more photos posted by a TikTok account named Yay Woohoo. This account posted photos with David seemingly from that exact same day, including one of them kissing and him having a hickey on his neck. The red straight hair initially made people think this was not Celeste because she had black curly hair, but the backstage video of her in June seems to indicate she may have dyed her hair, and the frizziness is likely a result of using a hot flat iron to straighten thick curly hair. There was also a Discord user in David's official Discord named Yay Woohoo, matching the TikTok account name, who insiders assumed was Celeste. But look at the profile picture. It is seemingly from the perspective of the Yay Woohoo girl and David in the Tesla. They're both doing the Spider-Man hand thing at the camera. It looks like David's hand is on the left and her hand is on the right. You can even spot a ring on her finger, which I will get to in a second. In this photo, it seems like they're parked next to another car with the windows rolled down, just like some teenagers hanging out late at night. It appears that the car next to them has someone in it with a black hoodie on. I mean, I think that jumble of pixels is a person. So if you compare that Yay Woohoo profile picture on Discord with some of the photos that were posted on TikTok, it seems like they may have been chilling all day and all night in that Tesla, sort of taking pictures and hanging out. On July 11th, 2024, David wrote a message in his Discord that said, "Me and deleted user have a kid on the way." We don't know if that deleted user is the same Yay Wahoo user, but it might be. David was in Paris when he wrote that message. Many people suggest that he was talking about Celeste and have developed tons of theories surrounding this alleged pregnancy. First of all, even if this was true, there's no way that that baby was born. That would mean that a baby would have been born in April of 2025 at the absolute latest. And I don't think you are hiding a baby for this long. Now, it is possible that the pregnancy could have been real and maybe there was an abortion or maybe she got pregnant again, but we are really stretching that at this point. People have also used this photo, which was posted by Yay Wahoo, as Celeste standing behind David and mimicking a pregnancy announcement, comically placing her hands around an invisible baby bump on David's belly. Basically, people on the internet are trying to establish a motive that David may have gotten Celeste pregnant and maybe he thought that that would ruin his career, or people would find out that he got a child pregnant and the result of that was potentially a murder. That definitely could be a motive, and we don't want to discredit that completely, but it does seem like the timeline doesn't exactly match up. Also, this theory has been debunked because Celeste Rivas' official death certificate revealed that she was not pregnant and had not been pregnant in the last year. Anyways, Yay Wahoo is now a deleted account, but there is a Discord chat log that has this person identifying themselves as Yay Wahoo and then saying she's with David right now on July 22nd, 2024, which could definitely be true because David's European tour ended 6 days before this message. This user also posted a photo in David's Discord wearing a ring where you can also see a red finger tattoo that says David. And if we go back to the Yay Wahoo TikTok post, all the way in the bottom right corner, you can see what looks like a red finger tattoo. And then again, if we look at the Yay Wahoo Discord profile picture, you can also see the ring on the finger. Also, this same mystery girl, Yay Wahoo, who we think might be Celeste, made a post on Instagram under the name Hello Kitty Life Girl sitting across from David. I believe this photo was also posted around July of 2024 because David dyed his hair all the way black at that time and posted a photo of him wearing what appears to be that same pink shirt. In the Hello Kitty Life Girl photo, you can see the ring and the red tattoo on the girl's finger. Plus, she was wearing a sweater that David had been photographed in. The red tattoo is important because authorities confirmed that the body they found inside the Tesla had a tattoo on her right index finger with the letters shh. David also has a tattoo on his finger that says shh, meaning they allegedly have matching tattoos. But this is confusing because Yay Wahoo's tattoo doesn't say shh, it says his name. And it's also on her left ring finger, not her right index finger, which means Yay Wahoo either isn't actually Celeste or that red David tattoo wasn't real and maybe it was a temporary tattoo, or this could be Celeste and she had both tattoos. She had shh on this finger and then she had David's name on her ring finger. But if that were true, then it makes the police report incredibly confusing. When the police found the body in the Tesla, they knew that it was the pop star David's Tesla. And then they said that, oh, she had a matching tattoo with David that said shh. Why would they reveal that and not the one that says David on her finger? That would not be the easiest connection ever. Like, oh, okay, this car belongs to David, body in the car. Oh yeah, her finger says David. Like that seems like really, really crucial evidence. That's just where something doesn't really match up for me. While reviewing this edit, I had another thought about this whole ring finger situation. The police did reveal that the body was dismembered or cut up. We don't know to what extent, how bad it was, or what was missing. But it makes me think if potentially the left ring finger or maybe the left hand was missing as a potential way to cover up the evidence, this would be some insane level, like serial killer, premeditated murder type stuff. At the end of July 2024, we have this photo of David at a party and a girl that strongly resembles Celeste, or Yay Wahoo, behind him. Red curly hair, ring on the finger, wearing David's silk bandana that he has worn hundreds of times. I'm pretty sure that Yay Wahoo is Hello Kitty Life Girl, and it is that girl wearing the silk bandana behind David at the party. But I can't confirm that this is Celeste, although it does seem like it. But there is even more evidence to dissect in July of 2024, I think. And it starts with this photo that was taken right around the corner from Celeste's house. Reports have not identified her exact address, but they revealed that she lived down the street from Del Lago Spirits in Lake Elsinore, California, which would mean somewhere on Jamieson Street. A new townhome community was being developed down Laguna Ave, less than a half a mile away from where Celeste lived. Referring to Google Maps, you can see this is the same parking lot that the photo was taken. Note the double-lined parking lot spaces, specifically the one all the way on the end next to the dirt patch. Also note across the street the brown fence that turns into a white fence, and take note of the wooden utility poles in the back that have the 3 distribution transformers on them. Since David lives 70 miles from Lake Elsinore, California, the only reason he would be down there right around the corner from where she lives is because he at least knew her, at least hung out with her. I mean, we know for a fact at this point there's absolutely no like world where he's like, oh yeah, I don't know who this girl is, I never met her, nothing. There's enough evidence where they were together for sure. They spent time together. Now, text messages were released by someone who contacted this kid who was standing across from David to give context about why they were in that parking lot. Bro, this was a secret that wasn't supposed to get out. David didn't know how old the girl was. She was lying and saying she was 19 when he was 20. And the second he found out, he took her home, and since we were some dumb kids, we tried to blackmail him, and we really messed up. And if you keep that video up, you could ruin his life for doing nothing wrong over a girl lying. And then you could ruin my life because he would know I leaked it and I could go to jail for like slandering him. Now, we know this kid's story can't be all the way true because it makes it seem like David hung out with Celeste one time, she lied about her age, and then he drove her back home. And we know they hung out more than one time. But the specific details of this kid blackmailing David actually don't matter. What does matter is simple. This kid knew about David and Celeste, and David did not want anyone else to know about them. And he was willing to pay someone to forget about it, which, you know, opens the door up for so much speculation after like how many times could he have paid someone off or had somebody keep quiet or just, you know, controlled his surroundings to make sure that nobody found out about him and Celeste. However, the date of when this happened is extremely important, and I have some weak evidence, but I do think this parking lot transaction also took place in July of 2024. But we have to focus on the outfit. Now, he wore this beanie for the first time publicly in February of 2024, which was around the first time Celeste went missing. He posted 2 TikToks wearing the cap, but David had long hair in February of 2024, and you could see his hair protruding from the sides of his hats. In the parking lot photo, you can't see his hair from the sides. However, in July of 2024, he posted a TikTok wearing nearly the exact same outfit as the parking lot photo. But David was in Europe at the time of posting this TikTok. There are also no other photos or videos of him wearing this exact beanie in this color anytime after July of 2024. Now, I told you the evidence was weak. However, brand new evidence was just released that throws an unexpected curveball in this entire situation. TMZ obtained a video recorded by a Nest doorbell camera on September 8th.
I ain't gonna let you talk. No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk? You tripping. Nah, you tripping. How about you ain't tripping? You gonna let a woman talk? All right, I'm not gonna let your woman talk.
The rest of the clip is just her screaming back and forth with the neighbors. Now, keep in mind, Celeste's birthday is September 7th. This video is on September 8th at what seems to be like early hours in the morning, which indicates she was up late, potentially celebrating her birthday. Maybe she was with family. I mean, we know she was home. And to me, she sounds intoxicated or under the influence. Fans immediately recognized Celeste's voice and confirmed that it was the same voice that is in David's songs Invisible String Theory and You Left Me First, but I can't play them due to copyright. Now, a lot of people on the internet are trying to say that like, oh, David's lawyers are revealing this, then they're trying to make her look like angry or unruly to try to paint some sort of narrative that maybe she is somehow at fault for her own death. But that is honestly just totally not focusing on what is most important about this clip. This is a massive reveal because it completely reshapes the timeline of Celeste's disappearance. Until now, the assumption was that she vanished in April of 2024 and that her family had never seen her since, and that we had to do our investigative detective work to assume that maybe the last time she was ever seen was the end of June backstage at that one David show. But this Ness video proves she was still alive in September of 2024, which means every theory built around her going missing in April or going missing after June or July has to be reconsidered. It drastically narrows the potential window of when she may have died, and it places her back at home, not hidden away, abducted, or deceased. It also raises new questions about why her family didn't publicly clarify that they saw her or that she returned home. TMZ reported that when the neighboring family saw Celeste that night, they just assumed she'd been found and everything was fine. So when did she go missing again? Was she just running away and coming back so much that her family couldn't keep up and just forgot? Did they just get used to her being gone for extended periods of time? Like, oh yeah, like Celeste, she just ran away again. We haven't seen her for a few weeks. Remember the first time she ran away, February 2024, they made a big deal, rightfully so. Posters, flyers, posts on Facebook. In March of 2024, when she disappeared, same thing, more posters, more flyers. They went down the road to the liquor store to find the surveillance footage. But then April of 2024, not as much. And it sounds messed up to say, but you can imagine a family, if they have a child who keeps running away and keeps not wanting to be back home, like eventually you're probably going to stop putting up the flyers and the posters, especially if she periodically is coming back home. Now, the idea that David's legal team could be purposefully releasing this to help his case, I mean, yeah, that is possibly true. Well, that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're defending their own case, which logical people understand that. This doesn't necessarily clear him, but it is interesting that previously we thought the last time she had ever been seen alive was backstage at one of his shows, and now the last time that she had ever been seen alive is actually at home. But we still have 12 months of a total blackout period, essentially nothing. No photos, no videos, or anything to prove that she was alive after September 2024 and ultimately until she was found dead September 2025. From an investigative perspective, that 12-month gap is critical because it creates a complete blackout of evidence. In any missing persons case, the period between disappearance and discovery is when investigators look for sightings, digital traces, financial activity, or even small inconsistencies that can narrow down a timeline. But with Celeste, there is basically nothing. That void doesn't point investigators towards a suspect or location, it leaves them with nothing. Now, again, I am not defending David. We do know at some point he was spending time with this 13-year-old girl, that she was running away from home to go and hang out with him. We know that they were at least friends or maybe even potentially more than friends. But this 12 to 14-month gap between, the last time that David had contact with her and then her being dead, I mean, that blackout period, it actually makes his case stronger because literally anything could have happened. She could have been in a different country. She could have met some other guy. She could have been dead. I mean, there's so many things that could have happened that your imagination can go anywhere. There is this one tiny thing that might be a clue. In February of 2025, David posted this TikTok on his burner account of him joking about cleaning shoes as a side hustle. He's cleaning a pair of Hello Kitty shoes as well as a pair of white, black, and gray Jordans that seemingly match a pair that Celeste owned. Some people have interpreted this as him cleaning up his crimes. And the next clue or evidence, which honestly isn't even that strong, doesn't show up until July of 2025, which is a full year later. In July of 2025, 2 months before Celeste was found dead, another girl named Celeste was seen hanging out with David, completely confusing the story. And it starts with this video of him at an arcade. Some live streamers walked up to him and you could see this girl on the right has her back to the camera. David grabs her arm and pulls her in towards him and she walks backwards purposefully, keeping her back to the camera until he physically turns her around.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
She's seen wearing what looks like the exact same Gap hoodie that was in the photos on the missing person poster. When I first saw it, I thought, wow, okay, this is definitely the missing girl. But we now know it's not. In a photo posted by one of David's friends, you can see Celeste Herrera is tagged, wearing the same thick square frame black glasses. And you can see David in the background wearing that same silk bandana. This girl is 23 years old. Here is another shot of her from the front, and you could see that this is not the same missing Celeste. Others speculated that the missing Celeste is the girl in the gray flannel in the back, but that is also untrue. That is just a friend of Herrera's named Vanessa, seen pictured here, and she goes by the Instagram username Space Doll. Now, is it really strange that he was hanging out with another girl named Celeste who had the same exact hoodie and looked very similar? Yes, but what it means is up to speculation. It's evident that David kept a very specific type of girl around him: fair brown skin, dark curly hair. He even has a music video where a girl with light brown skin and dark curly hair gets murdered and thrown in the trunk of a car. Some say this was on purpose, like these were decoys or distractions so nobody could find out about the missing Celeste. And if that were true and this was all by design, now we're talking about like Dahmer level, Bundy level, like serial killer behavior. But again, that's just speculation. I've seen people say that Celeste's friends stopped hearing from her in July of 2025 as a way to prove that she was still alive at this point, but this case is serious enough where we need irrefutable proof of that. However, the facts of this case really start to ramp up and become crucial around August of 2025. On August 5th, 2025, David performed the first show of his Withered World Tour in Del Mar, California. Upon entering the venue, fans encountered a vigil where David commemorated the death of his alter ego, Atami, which represented the subconscious evil that we all have within us, according to an interview from 2024. David expressed wanting to create an animated series surrounding his alter ego.
And he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments. He would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective.
David has also been known to express his love for gore, at one point even saying he was addicted to watching gore videos. I like writing gory psychological drama, romantic quotes, and a lot of death, he says. He admitted that he became so desensitized to it that he would laugh at gore videos or videos of murder. Another signature part of his branding was his blood-stained shirt that he often took photos in, performed in. David's artistic branding has consistently revolved around death, violence, and psychological darkness, but he complements it with these beautiful singing ballads that make it feel poetic and romantic rather than purely grotesque. This isn't necessarily new at all. Tons of super famous artists like XXXTentacion, My Chemical Romance, Trippie Redd, Nine Inch Nails have pursued a similar artistic direction. However, now people are looking at his branding as almost him hiding in plain sight. At the opening night of the Withered Tour, David's fans were greeted with an elaborate setup that included a casket being wheeled out of a hearse. Inside, the casket sat near a wreath and a guest book where people could write notes to Atami. David's online shop sells something called the Withered Scrapbook, where his fans are encouraged to share, when do you feel like Atami takes over? What usually happens? And how does it make you feel? Another page asks fans to write a letter to Atami, talk to them like a friend or maybe an enemy, and let them know how you feel about their presence in your life. This is especially disturbing because during the first few weeks of this tour, the LAPD believes there was a dead girl decomposing inside the trunk of his Tesla. The residents of the Hollywood Hills community where David lived reported a Tesla sedan had been sitting on Bluebird Avenue for at least 3 weeks. They also said that the car was spotted in various places around the neighborhood in the preceding months, as far back as the end of May. Now, this seems incredibly odd. Did David not have a garage or a free parking space? Why not just park the car at his place? It's not like he was this car collector known to have multiple cars just kind of sitting around. As far as we know, this was his only vehicle. The car was officially reported to the police on August 26th as residents wanted it moved. The next day, the street was marked with white chalk around the tires, so if it was moved, the white chalk would be messed up and there would be white residue on the tire. They came back to the car on September 3rd and there was no marking on the tires, therefore it never moved, so they issued a ticket. Then 2 days later, the car was still not moved, so on September 5th, it was officially towed at 10:20 a.m. However, 3 days after it was towed, on September 8th, 2025 at 12:30 p.m., officers responded to a report of a foul odor coming from the impounded vehicle at the Hollywood tow lot on North Mansfield Avenue in LA, and that's when they found the decomposing body. Many people people have come to the conclusion that David left this car or someone else left this car on the street with her body in there. But if her body was decomposing in the trunk for days or weeks in the hot Los Angeles summer, wouldn't the stench be apparent? Multiple different people were likely around this car. Residents maybe walked their dogs by the car. They knew that the car was suspiciously parked there for weeks. It bothered them enough to report it. And obviously, the tow truck driver had to connect the car to the tow truck, thus being pretty close to it. And nobody had reported an odor at that point. I mean, maybe it's possible that the plastic bag or multiple plastic bags that were holding the body had masked the smell. And yeah, maybe if the trunk was airtight, I suppose the odor couldn't have leaked out. But then once it was towed, the body may have gotten tossed around and sort of seals were broken and fumes were exposed. When scanning the area, you can see that the car was suspiciously parked in the perfect place. Almost all of these houses have massive privacy hedges. So even if these houses have cameras, they likely can't see what's going on in the street. The car was parked in such a specific place that only one house across the street could have gotten a video of it, and that's only if they had a camera near the roof. Police searched for surveillance video in the Hollywood Hills area where David's Tesla was abandoned. Multiple residents who live on the block recalled LAPD sweeping the area and talking with every neighbor they can track down to see if there's a ring camera or surveillance video showing David's car. The neighbor who called to have the car towed also spoke to police and turned over footage. I don't think we are going to get a perfect video that solves this case. The best we are likely going to get is a video from a house down the street or around the corner that just tells us potentially the last time that the car was driven in the general area. But that would be a major discovery, because if we know when the last time that car was driven, we can potentially rule David in or out as being the driver, since he was on tour around the time it was reported. Like, for example, if the car was driven any time after August 6, 2025, then it wasn't David that drove the car. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't involved, because since this is a Tesla, it's unlikely the car was stolen or even broken into. Teslas are some of the least stolen cars in America, and that's basically because the car is a computer, which also brings up so many other questions. Those cars track everything. They have cameras everywhere. They have satellites that are constantly taking in information and reporting other information. You can even get a notification on your phone when the trunk is opened. We have to assume the LAPD is looking into his Tesla account, no?
Well, it's all going to depend on if Sentry mode was turned on. Because if Sentry mode was actually activated on the vehicle, then it's doing a lot of recording of video footage from its 8 external cameras. And so if that was the case, then you'd actually have clips of the people opening the door, a clip of someone opening the trunk, and that could possibly be recovered by the police. Now, if Sentry mode's not turned on, then it's not going to be doing any of those recordings. And what you'll get is recordings when the vehicle's in motion versus when it's stationary.
LAPD Captain Scott M. Williams says, "We know that the Tesla had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks, so it is very likely Celeste Rivas Hernandez had been dead for several weeks prior to her body being discovered, which supports the theory that it could have happened before he went on tour on August 5th.
Now, David was supposed to be starting his Withered tour on July 30th, 2025. That is according to original merch that he put out for this tour. He was supposed to perform in San Francisco on July 30th. He was supposed to perform in Phoenix, Arizona on August 1st, and then was supposed to perform in Del Mar, California on the 2nd and on the 5th. The first 3 shows, however, were canceled. He didn't start his
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. We're gonna we'll pick up more on this later. But what'd you think about this Celeste, is this something you want to hear more about? Yeah, she wanted to be 21, really. Absolutely. Many kids do want to be older when they are young, not realizing that being an adult is not all fun and games, and this is what happens, they want to grow up older. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all. Let me get my camera back on. Here we go. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully y'all appreciate me. Yeah, this is some weird ass stuff, it's a shame, but have a great day, everybody. I have to work in a couple hours. So I got a few things I got to do over here. And, thank you, everybody, man. Big shout out to everyone that, matched, got the goals up, some super chats. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So to everybody that was in the chat holding it down today. So to Shari D, getting them super chats going. Thank you. You have no idea when I see, when you people donate to super chats, it just gets me all excited and it's different, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Yes, definitely always safe. I actually hurt myself delivering the donuts. My back has been screwed up all week. And then on my right side, sciatic nerve, I think they said, because maybe when I hurt my back, it might have pinched one of the nerves, but oh my God, am I in some pain? And then court was horrible the other day. I just wasn't prepared, and not having an attorney, Yes, new content subject. That's what I think. Maybe we should start talking about more things like this, because there's a lot of stories, similar. So yeah, it's definitely new content subject today. Trying not to get involved in all the BS that's going on. Four guys in a pub. Don't want to go through that again. Keep my head above water and do the right thing. And if Rose is still here, I want to say a big shout out to Rose. Thank you for that super last week, man. That was a blessing. You don't even know how much that helped the family. Thank you. So thank you, Rose. Thank you, everybody, man. I just want to thank everybody. But I don't want to miss anybody. What a horrible, no bad week for Mikey. Looking into a new week ahead. Yeah, if I can move. It's a little tough, though, walking. It's a little tough, man. The back's killing me. But thank you, everybody. Big shout out to everybody who donated. Randall, Miss G and X. Appreciate everybody who donated. Miss Luscious, haven't seen you in a couple shows, but thank you, people, for stopping in. Seriously, thank you. Okay, everybody, we out of here. Good night.
Yeah. Listen up. It's real out here. The ones you trust can make you or break you. You did. You did. Yeah.
Some will stretch you, twist you, pull you apart. Got a smile on their face, but they target your heart. Rip your face up with words, cut deep, no scars. You think you know loyalty till they expose who they are. They'll co-sign your dreams and throw you to the wolves. I seen them drag you down, little lies turn to drools. Test your mental, burn you out, that's the game they play. Life is too precious to waste on fakes every day.
Choose your circle wisely, keep it tight, don't let them in. The wrong people will drain you, it's a battle, where to begin? Life given by your honor, don't you let it slide, you're gonna die in a little less cell. No pride, no pride.
Super Bowl's passing, holidays come and go. While you stuck in that cell, that clock's moving slow. Frozen reality, that prison ain't just bars, it's a mind game. Psychological scars, don't act tough.